92.9 The Lake. We've been promoted all show long. We are joined by a Grammy and AMA award-winning artist selling more than 75 million records globally. Mr. Kenny G is in the house. Kenny, how's it going?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me.
No. Thank you for joining us. I know our listeners are pumped. We actually have a segment later on called Fan Mail where we're actually going to ask you some questions that fans submitted. But let's get started in the beginnings, man. You got a great story. So essentially, when you were 10, you got your first saxophone, and it was an alto sax. And I got to be honest with you, back in the day, I played the alto and the tenor as well. Never to the level of Kenny G, but I was up in there.
Well, listen, when you find something that you really have a knack for right from the beginning, it's a lot of fun. I love the sax right from the beginning. I was actually pretty good at the start, so it was fun for me, and I was one of those guys that stuck with it.
Now, when did you realize, okay, I'm going to switch from the alto to the soprano?
Well, it wasn't really a conscious effort. I just, in high school, I heard somebody play the soprano, and I thought, wow, that's a cool instrument. So I just added that to my list of instruments. It wasn't like I replaced anything. It was like I play alto, and I also play soprano. And then when I was in college, I added the tenor, so I play all the saxes now.
Oh, cool. Now, speaking of high school, when you were 17, you got a gig in Barry White's orchestra. How did that go down?
Well, it turned out that my band director had a relationship with somebody that was putting together an orchestra for Barry White for a few shows, and they needed a guy that could, maybe play some nice soulful solos, but also read music. And I think I was the only guy in Seattle that could do that, so I got the job.
That's absolutely amazing. And you continued to play professionally, and you majored in accounting at the University of Washington in Seattle. You graduated magna cum laude. That's absolutely amazing. Have you ever thought, hey, when this is over, I'm going to open an accounting firm?
Never once. No. But I did need a major in college, and I did not enjoy the study of music. I loved playing it, so I didn't want music to be my major, so I had to pick something else.
Right on. And then in 1982, you got your first record deal, and the legendary Clive Davis heard a rendition of yours of ABBA's Dancing Queen. How did he get that? Did he hear you live? Did you send him a tape?
Here's the thing. That piece of information, they talk about fake news in these days.
Oh, no, we've been duped. We've been trolled.
Yeah, I've read that thing for like 25 years, and it won't go away. That is not how it happened. I don't have any idea what that is. But what really happened was I was part of a band that already had a record deal with Clive Davis. Now, it was not my deal. Of a guy named Jeff Lorber, and I was in his band. Clive would see me play with his artist, and then eventually Clive came to me and said, listen, you should do your own records too, and we'd like to sign you as a solo artist. And that's how it went down.
That is absolutely amazing. When you first started off, did you ever visualize yourself as a solo artist?
I kind of did. I just kind of thought that I'd end up just kind of being in control of the music that I do, and that's really the main thing, is that I really just love to play my music, the music I write, the way I write it, the way I want to play it, the way I want to record it, and I always needed to kind of be a solo artist in order to have that control.
Right. And then speaking of being a solo artist, I mean, your career speaks for itself, but what amazes me is your popularity in China. This is absolutely amazing. They say Kobe Bryant's big in China. Kobe ain't got nothing on Kenny G. Now,
well, he's only taller than me. That's where he beats me in China. In fact, we're on our way to China in next week.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, I saw that on your tour schedule, and it brought me to this information right here that your song "Going Home" is the official or unofficial national closing song for businesses in China. Like after they close down, they play your song, and that's like everybody in China is like, okay, it's time to go ahead and wrap up our day.
It's really true. I've been going to China now since the mid-'80s, so we have a love affair. I love the Chinese people. They love my music. I love their music. And so somehow this song, they got attached to this song, and the name of it was Going Home. So they literally took the name of the song and attached it to a point of the day where they do go home. And I've been to China where I'm just walking around the streets, and all of a sudden I hear my song on the loudspeakers, and people start to gather their stuff and head to the train station. And at the train station they hear it, and anywhere you are toward the end of the day, that song is played, and so it's pretty cool. I have to say, I just have to remember that when I do my concert, I have to say that for the last song, otherwise the audience goes home.
Right. Now, you're also a pilot. and you have a seaplane that you fly regularly. When did you fit into your schedule to start doing pilot lessons?
It's funny. Like it sounds like there's no time, but what happens is that I'm just one of those guys that I'm a disciplined person in the sense that I like to do the things I like to do, so I make time for it. So learning to be a pilot just requires, some hours consistently studying and practicing, just like anything else. And so I decided I wanted to do that, and so I just managed to figure out some hours, and now I've got about 3,500 hours of flying, and it's one of those things that brings me a lot of pleasure, and it's a great pastime. It's a great thing to be able to do. If anyone's interested, it's a really fun accomplishment.
That is awesome. Now, it's time for fan mail. These are questions that were submitted from some fans here in Southwest Louisiana. This is Janice from Sulphur, Louisiana. She says, your hair is almost as iconic as your saxophone playing. Have you ever contemplated cutting it?
The fact that she says it's so iconic the answer would be a big fat no.
Do you have an insurance policy on your hair?
I don't. No.
Tyler from Moss Bluff, Louisiana asks, what other instruments do you play?
Well, really, I play alto, soprano, tenor, saxophone. Those are my main things. I know how to play the clarinet. I know how to play the flute. And there's other instruments that go along with that. Like, let's say there's an alto flute, there's a piccolo.
Yes.
There's also a baritone saxophone. So I would generally know how to play an instrument with a reed. I kind of know how to play the oboe, but I only concentrate on the things I'm good at. So the other ones I can do, I'm not very good at them.
Could we see the piccolo at your show this Friday at the Golden Nugget tomorrow at 8:30 p.m., maybe with a Jethro Tull cover?
Absolutely not a chance. If you're hoping for that, just stay home and watch something on TV. That's not going to happen.
Jasmine from Lake Charles, Louisiana says, you've traveled the world. Where is your favorite place to perform?
Well, I should say it's in Louisiana, but because that's the best thing for this talk. But really, I do like going to Tokyo, and it's a great city. There's a lot of really great things about being there and performing there that it's just one of my favorites. So I guess if I had to choose, I would say let me play a concert in Tokyo. It's just, I can't even tell you what's so great about it. There's like the Japanese people. I mean, when we play our shows there, everything's so on time. I like being on time. We are punctual, and it's just great. And the audience is really responsive. The food there is amazing. One of my favorite hotels is in Tokyo. So there's a lot of good things for me there. And
speaking of food, Louisiana known for its Cajun cuisine. When you come down and you tour in Louisiana, what's like your go-to? Where do you eat in Louisiana?
Well, here's the thing. I can't really eat too much spicy food before I play. So what happens is I just eat normal, bland food all day so that nothing gets in the way of me performing. You don't want me to have an upset stomach.
No.
And I can't have some spices in my mouth while I've got that sax in my mouth. So I just kind of have to wait till at the end of the show, and then I just kind of see what's there. I mean, I don't really know much about Cajun food other than it's good and I like it, but I have to eat it after the show.
There you go. If anybody gives you crawfish, I was talking to Sonny Sandoval from POD the other day, and nobody told him about the poop vein in the crawfish. So just make sure when you crack it open, there's a little vein on the tail. Take that sucker out.
Okay, that I do know.
Yes! Somebody loved you enough to tell you that.
You have to. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I'll look forward to whatever food I get at the end of the show, and then we'll be on our tour bus driving to, I think we're going down to Biloxi, Mississippi after that.
Well, Kenny G is going to be live tomorrow at the Golden Nugget. Of course, you can get tickets at our website, 929thelake.com. It's right there on the front page. Check Kenny G out. I mean, come on. This man is a legend. We love to see you out there. My mom is going to be there, and I tell you what, she put in some work on those 75 million records, and she is giddy like a little schoolgirl to see you tomorrow night.
Hey, that's really cool. I'm happy that she's coming. I'll bet that she enjoys my Christmas albums. I bet that's one of the things that she enjoys. So, also, I don't think we're going to play Christmas songs yet, but I think that's probably why your mom likes my music so much.
Well, look, if it says Kenny G on it, you could put out a polka album, and she's got it.
Well, you know what? I bet your mom will really like the new one I'm working on, which is an album reminiscent of the romantic songs I used to play in the 50s and 60s. But it's all new composition, so it's called New Standards, and it's coming out like next year. But I'm working on that right now, and just I'm really proud of it. It's going to be super, super cool.
Awesome. Well, Kenny G, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we will see you tomorrow at the Golden Nugget, 8:30 p.m. Grand Event Center at the Golden Nugget.
Can't wait to get there, guys. See you tomorrow.